Hi everybody, welcome to Be in the Change. I'm Michelle Kelly and I'm going to get started by reciting my inspiration. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, which most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will not feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson. I'd like to say welcome to everybody who's watching me for the first time, and welcome back to everybody who has seen me before, and thank you. I started this in 2019 as my New Year's resolution, breaking up with fear, breaking up with shame, and breaking up with guilt out loud with a weekly video, and I've reported fear, shame, and guilt has not broken up with me yet, but it doesn't mean I'm still not going to try. And I'm trucking along doing these videos, even though, when I got started, I knew I needed to do this, and I did not know why. And I feel like I'm still meant to do this, and I do not know why. But every week I've been given you guys some of my life experiences of things that have happened and how fear, shame, and guilt is still present in my life. And, last week in my video, I talked about, we've been in this pandemic for a really long time, and I'm watching a lot of people get very upset and start to criticize and blame, and we want to get out of this. I know people want to get out of this. I want to get out of this. I love people. I love people so much, and being around people makes me so happy. So being isolated is really hard for me. And I was thinking the other day, somebody said this is really hard on introverts. And I'm like, why introverts? And because they're used to rejecting people. Like, they want to get invited to a place and then be able to say, I can't come. And I thought that was kind of funny. But I wanted to talk about ego. What is your ego? I've heard remarks, and, this one little thing I heard, your ego is not your amigo. And I never knew what my ego was, but what I've learned over the years, it stands for easing God out. And, for me, what my ego is, and I'll kind of give you an example. It's like if I went on a job interview and I realized I don't really want that job. But then when they don't offer it to me, like, my feelings are hurt, because I want to be the one to say, I don't want your job. I want to be the one doing the rejecting. I don't want to get rejected because it hurts, and it can be embarrassing. And what I'm realizing through this pandemic is that a lot of our egos are being shed. And how my ego started to be shed was in November. I was in a car accident, and I was self-employed, and I could not physically go back to work. And I had to apply for food stamps, and I had to apply for Medicaid, which is public assistance medical. And it's very humbling. And I want to be the one to give to people. I don't want to be the one on the receiving end. And so I started this back in November, and I told people that I did this. And when I did go to the public assistance office, what I got was they were so nice to me, and they treated me like a person. and didn't make me feel any bad and any worse about myself than I already did. And so accepting help and being on the receiving end is really, really hard for me. And that is part of my ego. And to say out loud that I need help and I need support, and I do. And when I'm able to give it, I do. But right now, I'm not able to. And even if I wasn't working right now, like if I was not in that accident, I would not be allowed to work right now. So I would be in the same position. So when you look at me, you are looking at the face of somebody on public assistance. And talk about ego deflating. And I'll give you guys another example. I lived in a neighborhood after I got divorced, and I would tell people I would never buy a house here. And like I thought I was too good for the neighborhood. And turns out I couldn't even afford a house in that neighborhood. But my ego wanted to say I would never live here. But I did live there, and it was a very nice place to live, and turns out I couldn't even afford it. So having all of this, sometimes this is done because it is teaching, for me, I believe this is God, and that it is teaching me to be more compassionate and less judgmental and be able to ask for help. And that was something that is really, really hard for me. But I have to do it because this is my situation right now. So I am not physically well. I look fine on the outside. It's so funny. If you look at me, you would think, what's wrong with her? And if you saw all of my records and all of what is on the inside, it is not good. So what it's teaching me is not to judge a book by its cover, because you never know. So for me, this pandemic is teaching me, well, even before then, is not to judge, and how can I help? So thank you so much for everybody who's joining me. Be safe, take care of yourself, and stay tuned, and I'll see you all next week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.